This is SOS.
Both players looking confident. SOS with that normal kind of cheeky smile he gives. INnoVation looking him right in the eyes, giving them that handshake. Now going in this match, I would predict that the player who gets the momentum early will end up winning it, just simply because INnoVation either plays an insanely defensive style here, trying to catch all of SOS's all and get some momentum that way, or SOS finds a crack in INnoVation's defense. We very rarely see INnoVation go for early pressure builds like a player like Maru would, to kind of get into SOS's build, kind of mess with what SOS is doing. SOS always has a plan for these best of ones, whether it's a cheese, whether it's a unique strategy, whether it's a funny way of getting a macro lead, whether that's a hidden base or a risky third. And INnoVation, if he just sits back and tries to play a normal game, he needs to be defensive about it, because SOS will try to find his way in.
Yeah, SOS is a guy that understands the game to a fantastic degree. We did see INnoVation there with 15-4 record. He is just below Sue, who had 16-4. So many of those SK Telecom players have fantastic ratios. Classic, another one of those guys. Dream as well.
That's why we saw that pie chart earlier. You can see that the distribution was very even across the board for SKT. They have very few weak players. They have very few players that do not perform. Even Sari, who's only played a few times, was 4-2 before coming in today. You know, that's a very positive, very solid win record. More than many of the generic players and many of the players out there in general in Pro League. You know, for any of these given teams, a lot of them have negative records that are not the star players.
And SOS himself, I think he was at 13-12. Not quite the season that he had last year in Pro League, but he's coming out here and performing in the playoffs right when they needed him to. They made it to the playoffs with his help. I mean, he did get 13 wins as well, but look at this. I mean, he's 9-1 in recent games. He took one loss.
And INnoVation has an incredible record in this matchup, 7-1. Who do you predict in this one?
This is unbelievably hard. INnoVation, a fantastic player, just winning finals very recently as well. But in the best of one, I think I'm going to have to very slightly give it to SOS here.
I do too. Moonglade, votes?
Moonglade, who do you think is going to win this one?
I'm going to have to give this one to INnoVation.
Oh, INnoVation vote here for Moonglade. So, you know, I feel like this is going to be the closest match, the most high-stakes match. The winner of this match will take so much momentum, especially if INnoVation wins, because it will put his team on match point. And for SOS would tie things back up, but it would go into a ZVZ matchup where I think a lot of people favor Rogue. Look at this coach vote here.
3-2. The only coach here I know by his Korean name is Stork in the middle, who gives it to INnoVation.
The vote to the far right is Legends vote is to INnoVation, but I saw that the other coaches, of course, including Choya, are voting for SOS. So a pretty close vote here.
Yeah, definitely going to be a nail-biter here. Jinair really needs SOS to perform here. He did it before.
He needs
to come out today.
He absolutely does. If a loss here would almost guarantee SKT the victory. They have too much going for them. They've got two mirror matchups back after this, and there's always so much volatility that you would expect that they would win at least one of those.
Of course, and Dark versus Rogue. Rogue could definitely take that one, but Classic versus Trap, you got to give that one to Classic if you're just looking at it from afar.
Absolutely. So a terrifying place to be if SOS does not do this. But no doubt he's got his mind ready for this. He's prepared a build. He's prepared a strategy. And so...
Talking about the Junior Groomings fighting, even though he's on the wrong side.
Yeah, well, he's the traitor, man. He's hiding in there with the SKT fans.
They found him.
Well, we got wings on both sides with the T1 wings and the Junior Green wings. Find out who flies away with the victory today. I think this match, there's so many different things that SOS could do. It's going into Bonnie Research Station, which leads me to believe they wanted SOS to fight INnoVation. It's a great map for Terran. We see Terran players come out on this map more than any other race. We see a lot of TBTs here. Every now and then a TBZ. Or a PVZ, but the matchup we see the most is TBT, and then occasionally Pross will sneak in there if they're confident, if they want to snipe a Terran. If you see a Pross on this map, it usually means they're looking for a Terran, and I think that is the generic coach's plan here.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the plan, and that's part of the reason why I think he will win this one. And it's a very close one. INnoVation is a fantastic player, but SOS is going to have something prepared. He's shown like 8 different builds, or 6 to 8 different builds in all those wins that he did have in recent times. I think we're going to see something different today again.
SKT bench looking very tense, very stressed here. There's not even impact there. You can see Maru having a chat here with Cure, as well as giving a little massage down there in the trap. I think you can see that the relaxed atmosphere for Jin Air means they definitely have a plan here. They're insanely confident, and they all know it. They're all talking about, you know, what is he going to do, or how is INnoVation going to respond. INnoVation is a player who's criticized for, if his early to mid game goes wrong, his mid to late game is often weak because he just simply does not know how to transition. INnoVation is a player who gets leads early and carries them. He has not come back. I don't think I've ever seen INnoVation come back from being behind in a game before. He usually wins, so it's not a big problem, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, tons of fans here, by the way, just asking for a round of applause, thundering throughout Lotte World here, a gigantic arena. And yeah, I definitely have to echo your statement. INnoVation is a dominant player. Whenever he plays, he seems in control of the set if he's going into multiple games in a row or even in a best of one. This guy knows how to get the lead and keep it, which is part of why he is such a successful player. He
has some of the best macro in the world. It's just making sure that that does not get disrupted. You look at a player like INnoVation, you look at him in the TPZ match, look at his match versus Yell. If he gets ahead with his mech, he's just going to control what is happening. He's going to control the entire flow of the game. He will do that with Bio in this matchup. He will do that with harassment every now and then in this matchup, but that's usually not his style. It's usually not his way of playing. I would love to see him do a Hellion or Widowmine drop on this map. It's great. It's a great map for that style, and it can really get into messing with what SOS is doing, because SOS is the one who's going to do something tricky here, whether it's DTs, Oracles, a fast expander with third base, a 6-gate all-in, a 7-gate all-in, an Immortal push. There's so many different things that he can do here. Any viable PvT build, it's got an equal chance of coming out on the playing field today. This is the most important SOS best of one as well. We saw him do incredible best of ones, back-to-back wins, reverse all kill, but this one is the most important, and I cannot imagine he's just going to try to play a macro game versus INnoVation. I think he's got a very specific way he wants to beat this Terran.
The strength of SOS is that he comes in with unpredictable builds. You never know what he's going to throw at you. But guys, it is time to get into game number 4 between INnoVation and SOS. Down here in the south, in the orange, the Terran player, the ace player of SK Telecom T1, it is INnoVation.
His opponent to the top, those $O$ by his most hardcore fans, it is SOS. He has carried Jin Air Green Wings to this finals almost single-handedly. He's had a little bit of help from some of the other players that don't do as well. Maru doing a little bit of work. And also, of course, Rogue playing some really flashy games there in Grand Postseason. But this guy has come out, he's killed 4 players in one day with 4 different unique styles, often even in the same matchup. And INnoVation is sending out an early SCB.
What are we going to see out of this guy? You have to think it is going to be a Proxy Reaper. We have seen, though, a 2-Rex Proxy before. I forget the game, but it was on this map. It was done on the left side behind the line-of-sight blocker. But with only 1 SCV out just yet.
Starts to feel like a Reaper. There's the gas. Oh, no. Okay, 1 barracks so far. If he doesn't sound one right now, it looks like he's just going to be sticking with the 1. Okay, just a slightly less later gas coming up. It's not going to be your 8-8-8 fast Reaper. It's just going to be a pressure Reaper. This is not an all-in by any means. Absolutely transitionable, and this will most likely not kill SOS, especially because he didn't go for a Nexus first. He should be totally fine. It's all going to be about the micro of the probes and the Reaper to see how much damage INnoVation gets on with this, because he's sacrificing a lot with this build as well.
Yeah, he's going to try to rush out a Mothership Core here to defend. He's not going to know this is coming until the Reaper is in his base. He has not gone for a scout at all. That is the one place where he is being greedy. As you mentioned before, he's not going for that Nexus. So it's really just going to all come down to this micro. How many kills can INnoVation get? Will he be able to get any kills at that?
I think he's going to look for about 4. to be good. If he gets 4 kills, this is well worth it, and it's a good trade. If he gets any less than that, then it's definitely going to be bad for him. If he gets any more than that, then SOS is probably going to, suffer so much damage that he might end up losing the game for it. Now, SOS has kind of tight walled the front of his base, so it's becoming more popular right now with Protoss players, especially Jin-Air Process like SOS. Will Hero do this as well? To tight wall to stop SCV scouts, so you don't know what's going on. You don't know if there's a Nexus back there. You don't know if he has 2 gases.
But the interesting thing about this is that the Zealot is going to be rallied outside, so it can't even distract the Reaper, and here it comes. Cybernetics Core has finished.
This is a big problem here for SOS with good micro for INnoVation. He should easily be able to secure decent probe kills. Good micro though from SOS. Every time the shields are gone, he pulls the probe back. Mothership Core is nearly out. 1 kill goes down, a lot of lost mining time. There's the 2nd kill, and here comes that Mothership Core going to ward the Reaper off. Now, what's a bit awkward about this, too, is not only is the Zealot outside, but he has to decide now if he wants the Stalker to be permanently inside. If he sends it outside, it's not going to be able to defend. And what is going to be the plan here for SOS with this tight wall? With Reapers available on the map, the tight wall is definitely not going to do anything for him to scout or to stop scouts from getting in the main. He's seeing everything right now.
Yeah, look at this double Reaper, and I think that Stalker does have to come inside the base. He has rallied it inside, probably due to this. Zealot getting a kill here on an SCV, getting some revenge.
Yeah, the Zealot does come back across the map, gets that SCV kill, but there's not much else the Zealot will be able to achieve. In fact, the barracks is already lifted and run away, so the Zealot is just kind of going to hang out for a little while. Let's look at where we're at in this game. A Nexus has started for SOS. He's up 4 Harvesters, which is about the same as a Mule, that's being dropped consistently. He has the tech advantage, and what is it going to be? Looks like it's going to be a Stargate here, although he waits, and it will be a Robotics instead.
That is really interesting. We have seen some really crazy shenanigans on this map before with a Warp Prism going into the back door, getting out a bunch of warp gates, and just making that back door obsolete. You take control of it, you shut it down. It does take 2 force fields, though, so it is a very big all-in if you're going to go for something like that. If it gets shut down, you have no transition.
That's right, and it costs a lot of gas to warp in enough sentries to do that. He is making a sentry currently, which does kind of lead towards that sort of idea. Now, alternatively, he could go for an Immortal push at the front, trying to break INnoVation down before INnoVation realizes what is happening. The problem is, in order to do that, he's going to have to basically break down his front wall or do a crazy elevator, either of which will slow down the push. Then he's going to have to walk all the way across the map where INnoVation still has 2 Reapers, which will likely scout it. So if this is going to be a fast Warp Prism, it's most likely just going to be the Sentry drop. But I don't know if INnoVation, or rather if SOS can really afford this. INnoVation is already starting Stim. And, he's had a faster mining natural here, but not for very long. Yeah. This Twilight Council starts to give me a DT vibe.
It definitely could. We've seen it before on this map. It's because Protosses are realizing that, hey, this map is fantastic for Terran drops. It's fantastic for Protoss drops as well. If you get a Warp Prism in the back there, generally in this matchup at this time, you're not going to see too many Vikings out, so you can sneak it in the back door, and it can do a ton of damage. We do already see some safety missile turrets coming down here for for INnoVation, so he will have that detection at least at the back door.
Yeah. 3rd gas coming up here for INnoVation. And
it's Charge.
Charge, okay, so this is definitely not what I expected. Now, Charge is an upgrade that you can rush out to do pushes with either Zealots or Archons, especially with armor. This Reaper is actually going the wrong way. Both Reapers, in fact, going the wrong way. He's going to scout the Robo. Will he see the Charge? Well, if he sees this, he's not going to know that it is, in fact, Charge. I'm a bit surprised SOS does not try to block with probes. Maybe he wants him to see it and think Blink Stalkers, and then he's just going to hit them with a Charge push, but there's already a tight wall, right, at the top of the ramp. This is going to have to hit the 3rd base with Charge Zealot, Archon, and so far, no Forge, which means there's not going to be any armor upgrades either.
Yeah, he's looking to hit some kind of timing here. I think he did see the CC there.
He did.
And what you could also do with this is warp in a bunch of Charged Zealots for Harass initially. If you do want to go for that. You could also just use the Warp Prism to warp in at the front once that 3rd base does come down, as you were saying.
Yeah, you could. Okay, another few things he could do is, well, it looks like he's going to take a 3rd base with this. Finally, the Forge comes down. So the long time coming. He can hit the 3rd base with Charged Zealots and maybe a Archon, then send the Warp Prism to the back door. When INnoVation moves out to defend his 3rd base, which is going to be difficult with this heavy Marine comp. There's very few Marauders in the mix. Then the Zealots come into the back door and kill a lot of SCVs, force loss mining. He just kind of retreats back, falls back to a 3rd base. He's already got the Storm transition available with that Templar Archives. But I still really like INnoVation's position here. This is going to be desperate. Oh, it looks like it might even be a Storm drop with this. Or an Archon drop, either way.
But, yeah, there's no Storm yet. So these High Templar are just High Templar at this point. They could feedback, I suppose. Looks like they're going to morph here. Yeah, there we go. Just a small transport. He actually does get out of the way of the vision of what looks like possibly a medevac on the left side of the map from INnoVation. So
his third base is spotted, and he is going to do double Archon here. It looks like for a second maybe he was considering doing the second 2 Templar into Storms. Archon drops not very effective just simply because they're very slow. They don't kill SCVs quickly. A simple pull is all you need to defend an Archon drop. But a few mules just got dropped. This is an opportunity here for SOS. Third base, meanwhile, has been spotted.
He's just going straight for the main here with this Warp Prism. Gonna drop in on top of the production, actually. The sim is done, and here comes a giant Warp in of
He's just going to try to attack here. He's just simply going to attack the front. Zealot's coming in here, and he's just going to try to kill these units. He saw the drops coming out. He knew this was his opportunity. Oh, look at all the stacked SCVs. They pull away just at the right time. That Widowmine definitely going to get a decent hit here on Zealots, but at least the Archon shields stay intact. He needs a Warp in, though. He needs another one. Those drops are coming back, and they will defend this. The Warp Prism is being targeted. He needs that Warp in. Oh, a bad position here for the Archons. They can't get much, and he's going to actually just have to pick up and retreat. Can he get that second Archon out?
Get in the Warp Prism, and there he goes. But at the same time, doing a bunch of damage. He was microing so many different things, though, that back at home, he was floating nearly 600 minerals and 600 gas. So trying to get that online. He's got Storm on the way, as well as a Dark Shrine. So heavy harassment style coming out of SOS here.
Trying to find some more SCVs here. Again, Archon drops, not the most effective harass, just simply because they don't really, even though they do splash damage, they don't really line up the damage versus a mineral line like this. And they're so slow, they're so vulnerable. And now this Viking will easily clean up this Warp Prism. There's nowhere to run. He's even got turrets. He should be able to clean this with 2 more shots, and down they go. Not even another drop, and this is a terrible position for SOS.
Yeah, think about how expensive that just was. 600 gas going down in the Warp Prism alone, and now the push is coming across the map. Is SOS going to have enough to defend? He's desperately dropping down 3 cannons.
Storm, is critical in this defense. He has 7 Zealots only on the ground. He needs to be chronoing those warp gates. He's going to try to, looks like, warp in a DT for some harass during all of this. Oh, even actually using it for the defense to bait out scans. He will, he defended that Zerg push right where everyone said he was dead. Let's see if he can pull off another miracle here. The DT is spotted and scanned immediately. How many scans does he have left? That's the question. Storm, so important in this defense. If you Zealots actually going to sneak into the bottom left at the same time. And not the best position here for these Zealots. He's going to have to kite. There goes the first Storm. He needs more. He's got several lined up here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Storms coming out here, and nothing to stop them, really, except splits. No Ghosts, of course, in this kind of composition. And with the Photon Overcharge, all he's going to be able to do here is focus that down, that Assimilator.
That Storm not doing much for him here. Another scan will reveal that DT. INnoVation is trying to find an angle here, but every time he does get into that one position, that's where the Storms really stack up. Looks like the Warp Prism did, in fact, get chased down and killed, which means that may be the second Warp Prism, either that or either way, the Warp Prism is no longer the base. So DT drops, Zealot drops, no longer a threat for INnoVation. He knows he's cleared that up. He's going to continue to put on the pressure. Going to get a Ghost Academy, going to add additional barracks, and likely even take a 4th base very soon. That Ghost Academy, though, is a long time coming. I feel like we really need to see that soon.
Yeah, well, we do have one DT making its way up the ramp. Concussive Cell's going to focus it down. Does get out of the range. Going to have to use a scan here.
He will. He does have scans. Looks like INnoVation was so on point. Oops. Oh, my God. Doom drop. There are a lot of cannons here, and he's got a lot of feedbacks. Here we go. This is actually going to be possibly game-deciding. 9 medevacs full of units here coming in. SOS reaction a little bit late, but he does come in with a ton of Zealots, and he pushes it back. And he's going to eventually, if no Ghosts come onto the field, SOS will eventually find his way back into this game, and 3DTs can easily focus down this turret.
Oh, man. And look at this. All the units are getting out of position as well. All you got to do is focus down the turret. He's just going to go for the SCVs instead here. Yeah, he's got to go for that direct damage.
Yeah, he just wants to do damage as fast as possible. Now targeting down the turret. Might be a bit too late. No, it does go down. Here's a scan. There's a split. He does see the Ghost Academy is finished. He just gets out of range, but he's not paying attention. Speaking of not paying attention, a few Widowmines get in range of these cannons. Big Storm's going down on these medevacs. He needs buffer, though.
He needs more units, and there's more. Where that coming from INnoVation, coming from the left side, more Widow Mines, but the army of SOS is joining up. Can he get the money storm share?
He needs them. He needs them. INnoVation is starting to lose a lot of momentum in this game, though. He's defending harassed still. Zealots are killing more SCVs. 12 of them have gone down. And a huge warband going to the main.
That's nearly 10 Zealots, just trying to do a huge amount of damage. Only just now is he cleaning up that first wave, and the entire army of INnoVation is going to have to turn back on the map.
You know, Protoss as a race can almost be summed up in 2 words: cost efficiency. You know, you have these expensive units, but even with Zealots fighting in choke points versus Marines, they do so much. INnoVation is now down 10 Harvesters. He's losing even more of them, and this buys SOS so much space to make his Colossus transition. Not a Viking in sight. One Viking, the same Viking that deterred the Warp Prism, is all that INnoVation has to deal with this Colossus composition. He's going to have +2 armor, +1 attack just finished, and INnoVation is desperate to build up an army again that can continue to pressure.
Yeah, this is why SOS understands this game to a level that I haven't seen many other Protosses reach just yet. He knows that if he can put enough pressure on the Terran won't be able to pressure himself. He uses offense as his defense, whereas a lot of other Protosses will just sit back and wait, try to defend, especially on this map. You know, build a ton of cannons, but then keep your entire army back. SOS goes for the aggressive drops instead, and all the while, INnoVation isn't able to put on any pressure, so he cannot scout the fact that Colossi are coming out as well. He's going to have no answer. He has 1 Viking for these Colossi that are coming out right now.
This is a big moment here. It looks like INnoVation will be able to snipe this 4th base. At what cost, though? SOS, a bit hesitant when he sees those Widow Mines. He decides not to engage. He does cancel in time, but he's already starting to engage as he needs storms. Here come the first storms. On the left side of the map, those are probes coming around, and the Widow Mine hits here are incredible as well.
Fantastic focus out of INnoVation, targeting down the Sentry and the High Templar. What is this Colossus doing?
Oh, no! Robo rally right into the main base. He ignores it. He thinks it's a hallucination. Meanwhile, here comes that attack. This is almost a pure Marauder army. 30 Marauders on the map right now. The Colossus is still here, mind you, and very, in fact, real.
What are we watching? Colossus isn't even attacking anything. He just wants to join the Terran army.
Well, this Warp Prism wants to join the Terran army too. I don't think he's going to get the chance. Down he goes.
Witness
down
me,
goes
says the Warp Prism.
Down goes the Colossus as well. A few more harassment kills here for this DT, 4 in total. But the big scary thing for INnoVation is his tech tree is now complete. He has the right amount of ratio of Vikings to Colossi, and he now has Ghosts. So the AoE damage is dealt with. His army is also about pure Marauder. So he basically has the perfect maxed out Terran army with 66 supply only in workers.
Yeah, he's nearly getting there, but at the same time, we are going to soon see, unless INnoVation can punish it, a 4-base Protoss out of SOS. He's going to have Storms, he's going to have Colossi, Archons in the mix if possible, but it does look like INnoVation wants to take this time and shut down SOS. SOS is not even maxed out yet. I don't know if he can hold this 4th base.
It's going to be tough. You know, he doesn't have any more cannons this time, and even if he did, this is almost pure Marauder. This Storms could be beautiful here. The Ghosts are out of position. He could target them with the Colossi. A bit scared, though. Look at those Widow Mines helping the
range. The range isn't done yet. He can't focus him down just yet, and he's going to have to give away that 4th base. Instantly cancels it.
This might be the game-winning move here for INnoVation because there's no more gas for SOS to continue to build these expensive gas units. He wants that range. The EMPs hit a decent amount of Templar. Nexus Cannon goes up. Another great EMP here. And now he's caught in a terrible position behind the pylons. Zealots charge forward. The Colossi are just being taken out by these Vikings. There's not enough Stalkers. The Zealots are here at the front line. The other Colossus will join the battle, but it looks like there's just too much bio on the ground here.
It looks like a fantastic micro towards the end of this fight for SOS, but just not enough units. Awesome concave out of INnoVation. The mules
are dropped! And INnoVation will put his team on match point 3-1.
Unbelievable. He's able to finally take out SOS, who was on a fantastic run. But INnoVation saying, I am the ace player of SK Telecom T1, and I will defeat you here when it matters most.
And now a scary place to be for Jin Air because they have 1 life left, and they have to play 2 back-to-back mirror matchups, Rogue into Trap, before they can force that ace match. They need 2 wins in a row. And INnoVation was under the pressure that entire game. Starting things off, though, on his terms. That's what I wanted to see. I was wanting to see maybe a Reaper, or not Reaper, a Hellion or Widowmine drop, Marine drop, but he started even earlier than that. He sent 2 Reapers in, he controlled the game. SOS did something tricky, He found his way in to do some harass, but he was never able to control that 4th base, and then he lost momentum. He never had enough gas to build an army to bully the Terran. The Terran just walked over, built a 30 Marauder army, 30 Marauders in that army, and then just kept hitting the base. He had enough Ghosts and enough Vikings, the perfect ratio to deal with all forms of Protoss AoE. INnoVation proves again, he is a god, potentially the best player in the world at this moment in time.
All of the other teammates giving him the thumbs up here, double thumbs up from one of those players. INnoVation himself, maybe not the most outgoing guy, but just unbelievable play there in the booth. SOS, as you said, coming out with something new.